back to Kids Midweek. I'm very excited to be here with you again today, and I wanted to take this little chance to talk to you about something really, really important and really special. I have here a piece of paper. I wonder if you've ever done this before. I'm actually going to turn it into a ring. I've got my stapler here. I'm going to just staple the ends together like this. Look, got a ring. Have you ever made a paper chain? And you link this through like this. And one link at a time, one loop at a time, you're making a chain. Have you ever done that? I'm going to slowly build my chain as I talk to you. I hope that's okay. I wanted to talk to you today about a story from the Bible. It's a really cool one. I love it. It's found in Acts chapter 12. It's actually the story of a man named Peter. I wonder what you know about Peter. Have a think. Have a chat. What do you remember about Peter in the Bible? Peter was actually one of Jesus' good mates. In this particular story, we don't find him in a very happy place. We actually find him in prison. You see, the king at the time was a man named Herod Agrippa, and he was all about pleasing people and making other people happy, particularly the powerful people. And Herod Agrippa realised that if he could take the leaders of the Christians, if he could take people like Peter and put them in prison or hurt them or kill them, then everyone else in the land would think very well of him. And this is what Herod Agrippa chose to do. And he actually killed a man named James, and he put Peter in prison. And so there's Peter, stuck. The Bible actually says that he was meant to be tried and executed and killed the following day, except it was a very, very special holiday. It was Passover. And so Herod knew that he couldn't put Peter on trial while this special holiday was going on. So Herod waited. And while Herod was waiting for the holiday to be over, Peter's friends and family and the other Christians who were alive at the time decided to pray. And they prayed around the clock. They prayed in the morning, they prayed in the afternoon, they prayed at night time, and they prayed very specifically that God would help Peter. So Peter was stuck. Peter was chained. He was in chains. He had people, prison guards, on both sides of him. There were locked doors between him and freedom. And then there were prison guards waiting outside the locked doors. See, Peter was in total trouble. But still, God's people chose to pray. And one night, the night before Peter went on trial, the night before Herod Agrippa was going to potentially execute him, something incredible happened. An angel arrived in the prison cell where Peter was. And the angel actually said, Peter, put on your clothes, put on your shoes. It's time that we left. And just like that, all of the chains that were on Peter all broke. And he was able to walk out. The doors opened in front of him, and he was able to actually leave the prison. And he went straight to his mate Mark's house. And all of the people were gathered there, and they were praying. Remember, they were praying that Peter would be freed. And this is my favourite part. A girl named Rhoda. Remember that name? She's one of my favourite people in the Bible. We only really hear about her once. Rhoda arrived at the door. She heard a knock. She went to the door. And there she saw Peter, the person they'd all been praying for really, really hard. She saw Peter waiting at the door. And she got so excited that she shut the door again and went and told all her mates that he was there. She'd left the person who'd escaped from prison standing at the door waiting to be let in. She's hilarious. I love her. I can't wait to meet her. Rhoda. When people realised what Rhoda was saying, they raced out and let Peter in. And the Bible actually says that Peter had to tell them to be quiet because they were so excited to see him that their voices were very, very loud. You see, God had heard their prayers. I think they realised that God was real, that God was with them, that God actually did things to help his people just because they knew that Peter was free and they knew that Peter was well and Peter was with them. You see, God wants us to talk to him. God wants us to ask him questions. God wants us to be in constant communication with him. And sometimes that actually means talking and actually having a conversation with him. Sometimes that just means sitting with him and remembering that he's with you. God is a very real God who wants to talk to you and cares very deeply about the things that you have to say. So my challenge to you this week, Kingsway kids, is to take the time and talk to God. He loves you, he knows you, he cares very deeply about the things you worry about. Why don't you have a chat to him this week?